Well, hello, I'm Bob Dandry. This is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where we are building Azure Delta. As you can see, it is winter, there is snow, and hopefully that's not going to wreak too much havoc through this episode. Now, last episode, we placed down our new metro network, which I think worked out pretty well, but I did want to do a slight retcon of what we did in terms of the metro depot. I don't like where this is. It possibly is breaking the network. If we pop into the public transport overview, I think we'll be able to see that somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making this up. But I was having some issues when I was sort of taking screenshots at the end of the last episode where the metro trains were getting stuck on this section of track here, which they might still be. Let's have a look. Let's see. Yeah, they are stuck on this section here. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's something to do with where the depot is placed, potentially. Aside from that, I just didn't really like it anyway. It doesn't really make sense. So we're going to correct that. And we'll also get a second line in as well, which I'm keen to get constructing. Now, I've had a bit of a look around trying to work out where would be good for that. And I think right here is probably a decent shout. And that will tie in well with the new sort of stops we want to get in. We want to get them in this residential area. We did mention, of course, that we had placed this sort of bus highway in to cater for the fact that we weren't ready to get rail services to these areas. And we are now. So we're going to look to get those set up. And hopefully that should be a little bit smoother than the first subway route we got in. Now, I did notice, because I use mods to get these walls up, they're a bit broken and I can't fix them. I've tried raising the train back up and it's just not working. So we're going to pretend it's not like that, and I will see what I can do in terms of researching if we can fix that or if it's just something we have to deal with from, I guess, using the in-game tools for something not really designed to be used for. But we'll have a look. All right, so subway yard. We've got plenty of room in here that we can get that in, and I just want to make sure that we're leaving some room out the front as well. We don't want the traffic coming straight past that. We'll probably need some further parking, I would suggest as well, because it doesn't look like there's a hell of a lot of parking for our employees here. And there would be, of course, I would say quite a few coming into work. So we can get a parking lot in here as well. And overall, I think this will work pretty well. Alrighty, so we've got an entry. And in terms of our parking, let's have a look. Can we get a medium lot in here? Looks like we can, but we're not getting a look at what it actually looks like. So hopefully it turns out right. Okay, yeah, so it is, decent size. Not too bad. We can probably even sneak in another one alongside it, I would suspect. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've got some parking available there. We might as well get a pedestrian crossing in if we can. No pedestrian crossing. Guess not. We might need to force one to go in by using a path potentially. We'll have one start over here. We're not going to force, I was going to say, we're not going to force a crossing there, but we did. And let's have a look. Okay, we've got a crossing there. And we might use our complex curve tool. Turn off our snaps. And just have that join up with our existing crossing over there. Okay. Cool. Next, for our mainline connection, what I've actually noticed from our two train depots, which I didn't show in the last episode, I had to do a little quick and dirty sort of dive under our train maintenance center because it seems like having trains run through this middle set of tracks here actually causes a lot of breakages. I had the same issue over here, which is mostly cleared off, but we've got a few trains that are stuck, and I just built once again another quick and dirty bypass to get around that. So we will need to fix this specifically because we've got trains that are stuck there and not able to continue on their routes. But we're going to plan this one from the start with a bypass track going all the way around. And only trains that need to go into the depot or out of the depot will actually access the tracks through the middle. And that should, hopefully, make things a little bit better. And they hopefully shouldn't break. So we will have that parallel pair of tracks go through. I would like to say that eventually Wallaby Island will be converted into residential. So I definitely want to have the opportunity to have a metro stop here, but we're not going to be building anything yet. But definitely we're going to have a second route that does terminate over here in Mosman. So we'll have it feeding from our depot. I was actually meaning to make a curved section there, so we'll redo that. Might even go a continuous curve. Have it dive down under. We're going to sort of almost parallel our highway, or not even parallel, just go directly under it, I think. We do need to, looks like, go a little bit deeper to make it through the harbour area. It's in water. I know it's in water. It's supposed to be in water. I'm confused why it's telling me it's in water. I'm aware. We might see if we can go the other way, if that will fix. We might have some funky stuff going on under. Okay, that appears to be fixed now. And we should be able to continue on our way. And we're pretty much going to join this up right here, just past, or before or after, however you want to describe it, Palmer Square stop. So we could even do a loop if we wanted to, but I think we're okay just with two separate routes at the moment. And in the other direction, I think we'll have a service level connection over the top. And then we will sort of bury underneath and we'll need to get in. I reckon we actually get a few stops in this area, to be honest. We might try and get one in this hub here. Or in fact, I might just place it down. I think that probably makes sense. Get one in this built-up area here. We might need to lose a building for that, because I do want it to be sort of in the middle of the built-up area. That actually didn't turn out too badly. I think I want to have one in Platypus Park as well, which we might have some land that we're not using. Doesn't really look like it. So we'll need to get rid of probably commercial. And then I also want to have a metro interface at this station here, which we sort of placed down this station and didn't really do anything with it. And I do want to see if we can develop a little bit more around this. Of course, we're probably quite ripe for some transit-oriented development here as well, aren't we? But yeah, from there we can pretty much just loop back in with our network that we've already placed down. I think this should be fairly simple to get connected up. We've probably gone down a little bit too quick here because I do want to connect up these sidings and stuff. So what we might do is slightly redo this, but I'll get the sidings all sorted out and then we can do the connection to them. So I'll have this as surface level. Then we'll make all our sort of connections that we need to make. I notice we've only got one-way tracks here. We don't have two-way tracks, which is interesting. And doesn't really work. Do we have two-way train tracks? We do. So that's very interesting. So I'm wondering how this all works then, if we're only going one way. I'm guessing they all need to go in this direction then, because our third rail is on the right side. All right, so we've got this all connected up now, I think. I don't think we need to make any other connections there. So we'll make our way across the river. And we probably do want to reduce... Well, actually, we probably want to keep this fairly level, if I'm honest. And then we want to dive down once we're past that section. Like so, I think that's pretty decent. And where have we got our stops? We've got one here. That's facing the wrong direction, isn't it? It is. Okay. Yeah, we probably do need to be facing or sort of parallel to our road, so that's fair enough. We'll redo it. Probably going to be easy to work with that way as well. Where's our next station? It's over here, isn't it? Yeah. Can I get a guideline, or am I too far away? Probably actually too far away, aren't we? It still worked, though. Ooh, overlapping items. Okay. How so? We need to go lower? Yeah, we did. Need to go just a little bit lower. And from here, this hopefully should be a fairly... You would think... standard connection, right? And as the snow starts to melt away, we're getting ever so close to completing this line. And I think here is probably where we're going to delete our old depot that we'd set up. I don't know why the industrial people are unhappy. I guess their workers probably... I was going to say their workers probably couldn't get to work, but there's no station there. It's just the yards. So, I don't know. Maybe it's more difficult for them to be a, preferred supplier for the company potentially if it's halfway across town. So I guess we could go with that as the reason why. Alrighty. So from here we can pretty much loop in with the existing line. Beautiful. So that line's actually good to go. We can build that right now, or start running trains on it at least. So let's get started. And once again, there's a possibility that we could add an additional station or multiple additional stations should we redevelop any of this area in future. But at the moment, it's just going to be straight shot through. Alrighty, so that new route is now built. We will, of course, change the color. And what are we going to call this one? We probably want to sort of name it based on this region here. I don't know what we've actually called this sort of as a region. I don't think we've really given it a name. At the moment, we might just call it the M2 Quacquaterrace line. So hopefully we should start to see these trains running with no issues. It looks like they are starting to run. They've all sort of backed up at Mosman at the moment. We should expect to see those hopefully even out in terms of the amount of coverage, etc. they're getting. All right, I'm going to apply a proper fix to this train line now. Because, yeah, it doesn't look great in any... Ooh, hang on. Ooh, almost deleted the building there. That is not what we want to do. It just doesn't look great. So let's make it a little bit gooder. A little bit gooder? A little bit nicer. What we want this to become is actually the primary movement. So I'm going to delete a bit of this stuff here. We'll fix all of this up, I think. Other problem we've got is that we've actually got this connection here that we need to fix up. We might need to put a dive in, I would suggest. Which is okay. We can sort of avoid this road that we originally had a level crossing on and dive underneath. We're looking under here because this is wild. Absolutely wild. I wonder if we can make that any better. Let's see. Okay, so... that's a metro line. Let's turn off all of our snapping. It looks like we're doing okay there. That might be quite a tight turn. Let's see how it looks. We'll need guidelines. It's not the worst. It could be definitely a lot worse than that. Should be right to turn our snapping back on now. We'll drag this guy, no? Why you not... Why you know... Oh. Yeah, okay, I placed a metro line down. I forgot about that. Alright, let's try this again. Now. Can we make this work? Yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. Next, we will... I was going to say we can keep punching that way, but we can't because we've got our realistically soon to be gotten rid of bus. But that's okay. No, don't like it. Alrighty, much happier with that. And now we should be able to connect up the depot. Got a little bit of ugliness here. I wonder if we can overcome that with some landscaping. It's possible. Also possible we won't. %6 grade is not great. But it's okay, it's fine. So I think from here, it's a bit better. Actually, it's pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. And yeah, now we've just got all of our sightings. And of course we need to go from the other direction as well, don't we? Yep, looks fine. Ish. No. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is all reconnected now. Hopefully these trains will work out what they're doing. And yeah, we just need to build our dive for our freight bypass. All right, so this should all work now. Now, onto what I'm hoping will be one of the signature builds of this series. It's definitely obviously the one for this episode. So, education. We're failing in a lot of regards in terms of our education. If we pop over to the info view, once again, same as what I pointed out earlier, we suck a lot at elementary school, so we need to look at that. But what I want to look at right now is our college and our university. Our capacity is much lower than our eligibility, as you can see, in both regards. And we've got this piece of land here that I guess the powers that be are thinking, due to the absolutely rampant pollution we're seeing in the city, we're probably not going to get any residential in here, but we can certainly subject our students to pollution. Who cares about them, right? Next generation, pff, whatever. I walked to school uphill both ways, 5 kilometers in the rain, and it was 40 degrees, so you can too. No, but seriously, this I think is quite a decent bit of land. We're not removing much forest either, because we do have a nice sort of bare patch here that we could definitely try and center the university on. It'll be fairly close to our main roads, our motorway, and we should also be able to deviate our metro lines that we've built to go via the university as well with not too much effort. So what I would like to do here, I'd actually like to get all of our different sort of specialist universities in and treat them as though they're like the different faculties. I will also like to get a college in as well. It can be sort of like a sort of cohabitation of a university and a vocational college on the same campus. I think that makes sense, and it's obviously what we're going to be doing. So, education. So we're going to get our technical university, our medical university, and to be honest, I'm probably just going to go ham here. We'll leave the Large Hadron Collider. I don't think we need that quite yet, but we're going to try and get sort of everything else in here. And if we see any other interesting, I guess, buildings that would fit in, like a health research institute, potentially, though we're very fast running out of progression points. I think we're about to hit another one anyway, so it should be okay. Another one I think makes sense would be a server farm as well, I think, to sort of both, I guess our students that are doing all their technical courses are going to have a lot of servers they need to be running, a lot of clusters, stuff like that, technical words, and so it makes sense, I think, to get that in there. So we'll be unlocking a new set of progression points very shortly, and once we have, we'll get the Medical Research Institute and also the server farm unlocked. But first, what we want to do is we want to get a nice level pad for what we're going to be doing here, and we're pretty level already. It looks pretty decent. This contour here, I think we'll try and spread that out a fair amount. And I don't think it's going to be too dramatic either. We might be lopping the top off this sort of hill, but it's not going to be too bad. Our major contours are fairly sort of spread out. We could potentially maybe smooth out Thornton Street a bit while we're at it as well. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab this contour here, and we're just going to, quite a dramatic sort of pad here that we're going to center all of our university infrastructure and our university buildings on. And I actually don't think it looks too bad. I think, considering we've just leveled out just a chunk of ground, if we look at it, it's really not that bad. It's fairly flat already. That's good to see. But we want to try and get a number of different entrances. We want to sort of try and avoid having heavy traffic from one road coming in. Of course, we're limited a little bit by the railway line and the motorway, but I think we should be able to get another milestone unlocked. Yes, Metropolis. Beautiful. As I said, we've got stuff we want to unlock, so I'm going to quickly go in and do that. What were we looking at? The Medical Research Institute and also the server farm. We're going to do that. But yeah, as I was saying, we can definitely find somewhere, maybe even Victoria Street, which we built around here. I mean, we can probably even join Victoria Street up to sort of Hemlock Street and just have a bit of a country semi-rural road through here. And we can connect that up to the university as sort of the back entrance, I guess. So yeah, I think that works well. I did mention I want to flatten out Thornton Street a little bit, so we'll do that while we're here as well. I'm going to get rid of that section of road. We will get rid of this section as well. And then we should be able to... It's actually reasonably flat there. So we should be able to do... You do this, it's like barely a contour at all, is it? So I think that's decent. We'll reconnect the road. And we will get a roundabout in as well. So this is going to be the main entrance to our university. And the back entrance will be via Victoria Street. So let's have a look at the different buildings we've got. So of course we've got our main university building. Of course we've got one over here as well. And that is, you know, reasonably large. And we've also got the Technical University, which is the same size. I guess the Medical University. Okay, Medical University is a little bit different, a little bit more narrow. We can probably get that sort of like along here or something, couldn't we? Or the other way. Oh, farmer. Okay. So I've got that in, and I think that's pretty decent, actually. I think that probably is a decent place for it. And we're... I mean, probably should have planned this out a little bit more, let's be completely honest. But we should be able to fit in everything we need. Yes, I know we've got no poo or power, but that's okay. So the Technical University is a little bit bigger. It's sort of a tiny bit more narrower, but it's much more of a there's much more landscaping and stuff like that. So that is okay as well. And what else have we got? We got our Geological Research, and is actually a little small one. And the Health Research Institute is tiny as well. So, what about our server farm? How big is that? That's fairly small as well. So that's decent. I'm just trying to think of how we lay out everything else. We probably should have made a bit more of a cohesive plan rather than just being like, I'm putting this building here. But it's okay. I reckon we can get that in. It's interesting. The Technical and the Medical University are unique buildings. So our regular university is much smaller in terms of the size of the building, so that's good. I think we might need a bit more of a pad though. And we're seeing now we're starting to sort of become a bit more cliffy. And that's okay. We're not going to need all of this room, so we will be able to smooth it out significantly. At least I hope, anyway. But yeah, hopefully we should have sort of an interesting sort of layout of a university. I don't think these are parallel, and I would like them to be. So I might sort of do bits. They might be actually, to be honest. I think they are. Yeah. Okay, so that's not too bad then. So our main university building then, we should be able to place it on this road here. We're fairly centered, or centered enough anyway. Maybe. No, I think we might take off our... Hang on. There we go. And do all of these have add-ons? It looks like... Workshop upgrade look like. It looks like that's just an invisible one. The extension wing is within the footprint. What about our medical university? Okay, so we need... Okay, that one's fine. That will sit sort of off to the side, and this one sits off to the side as well. That's fine. We've got plenty of space for all of those, it looks like. Yeah. Might even get this one in while we're here as well. Just because I think it fits in quite well out the back there. Extension wing fits in the footprint, and that we should be able to fit somewhere. So I think we're pretty good for all the upgrades we can imagine doing here. Now we did have the Health Research Institute, which doesn't want... Oh, I was going to say it doesn't seem to want to snap to anything else because we'd turned off snapping. This was the medical university, wasn't it? So it probably makes sense for us to have the Research Institute just on the other side of the road from that. So you could potentially be doing work as a, you know, a PhD or a master's student or whatever, doing research. And we've got obviously a few more options we can look at here as well. We've got, this is a geological research center. We can, I think, fit sort of a little bit back off the road maybe. Do we need roads? So no, we can't put it back off the road, sadly. We can definitely get it in somewhere. Remind me, are these both... Yeah, they're both in the footprint, so we can place a new road just here. Get this just across the road. And what does the radio telescope forest do? So it's just another sort of increase of our graduation, which is fine. I'll just get an alley. Can sort of run and have maybe that right on the edge of our cliff. Nice. And server farm. Server farm's a big building as well, isn't it? But we would probably expect to see that with all the technical stuff, so we'll get it over there now as well. What do the upgrades for that look like? They are, appears to be both invisible, you'd say, I guess. So they're fine. I might get this shifted over just a little bit, so we can connect Sycamore Street up to Vermont Street as well. Now, finally, I did want to get a college in, and I think we will keep it in the sort of footprint of the university, but we might have it just by the entrance, so a little bit sort of more accessible. What are our upgrades there? Cool. Got plenty of space for all of those as well. Now, I think this is all of the main buildings we want to place down. So I want to obviously make this look a lot nicer. So we'll get probably some parks and stuff like that in, and just a whole lot of detailing and landscaping as well. It'd be great to be able to fit in a couple of large plazas, or at least one large plaza anyway. Probably on the other side of the road to our main university building. Turn off snapping. If we can, I really wish it was easier to turn off snapping and keep the current sort of orientation of the building. I struggle with it a little bit, if I'm honest. I want to keep that oriented that way. And turn off snapping. Okay, cool. That works. Alrighty, very nice. We've also got our large sport parks for any sort of varsity sports or anything like that. Obviously, we don't really have varsity sports in Australia, but it's an important part of the uni experience, I guess, if you do have them where you are. We might place those, once again, a little bit towards the city itself, rather than deep in the university, maybe out the front here, potentially. And that should give plenty of accessibility for, regular citizens if they're off to support the university team as well. That means we are going to need to expand this a little bit more as well. But I think it should be all right. I think it should be okay. It looks silly right now, but I'm hopeful that we will pull it back to look a little bit nicer. So what do we got here? American football fields. I'm interested. What I'd like to do is try and get these on some sort of weird angles to give it a bit of interest. If we can, soccer field as well. Might even get 2 American football fields in, eh? Go the Chirpers, hey? And for a soccer field, or a football field, depending on how you feel about it, get a couple of those in as well. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. Might need to turn off some snapping. Okay, cool. Ooh, we're falling off the cliff just a tiny bit there. Once again, we'll drag it off, drag it out more, as you do. And just remind me, where do these buildings go? Okay, we've actually stuffed up a little bit here, haven't we? Yeah. I'm sure it'll be okay. She'll be alright. Alrighty, I think that's all the buildings we're going to place down now. And now we're just going to focus on getting paths, make this a little bit more walkable, I think. I think we've got room for just a few more sort of small parks, things like that as well. Those did not snap the same. That's interesting. Okay. It probably actually makes... We probably do need a bit of car parking as well, because I want to remove a lot of the street parking. So we can just have like tree-lined streets and stuff like that. So let's have a look. We do have... Potentially we can fit in an overground parking lot somewhere. Maybe get 2. And yeah, we want to discourage, of course, people driving, but there are always going to be people who want to drive, so we'll get a little bit of parking in to satisfy them. Maybe a couple of small lots around each of the buildings. Or at least a couple anyway. And yeah, the rest will be, you know, public transport, hopefully. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go through and remove pretty much all of the street parking here. Alrighty, so now that we've got all that done, I just want to sort of utilize the rest of our empty spaces and just get a lot of trees and things like that. Of course, some of these may eventually be used for upgrades, especially this sort of lot here, but I think it's still okay. And so yeah, let's do that. I just want to get a connection in here as well. All right, so I think I'm pretty happy with the decoration we've got in so far. So we might now start to smooth out the pad that we created when we put the university in, and see where we end up from there. And yeah, now we've just got the back entrance from Victoria Street, was it? Yeah. So we don't want this to be a convenient entrance. We don't want this to be used as any sort of cut through. So I think we might maybe join it up on the far end of Elk Street here and have it run sort of back along the main campus building. Like so. Perfect. And let's... Oh, actually, not that perfect. We might need to do some smoothing. A little bit nicer. Not the best by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, a little bit nicer. And we do have a little bit of extra space to expand our facilities more should we need to, or should there be demand in the future. Now we've got this little block here that I guess sort of created when I was improving the connectivity to the university. And I think we might get a little bit of low income housing, which will sort of be cosplaying, I guess, as sort of student housing. And that probably makes sense to have some in, within the sort of footprint of the campus itself as well. So we're not going to have too much of this. I think just a few sort of little nodes. And we're going to try and have them all on even ground. Maybe fit one more little node in here. Of course, we're going to hit bloody pollution issues. Once again, it's fine. They're students. They can deal with it. There's only really one thing left for us to do here, and that's to get a subway or a metro station here. This is going to be quite a popular destination for our youth and young adults. So it makes sense to have a nice accessible stop here. It'd be great to have two, but with our current sort of configuration of our metro, there's not really anywhere we could get a second stop. So I think we'll get a stop probably on this corner here. Nice and convenient to... I would say it's nice and convenient. It's not really all that convenient, but it's still... Everything would be in walking distance, I think, if we were to hop off the metro here. So that's fine. And importantly, we don't have to deviate our metro line too much if we do that as well. So can we sneak that in? Looks like we can. We will remove the tree that is on top of it. And yeah, let's see how we can get our station in. We're going to have to sort of bend around quite significantly, I would say. Possibly tunnel a bit as well. Okay, it looks like that connects. And then the question is, how are we going to make this work? We might need... Appears that connects up as well. I might restructure that a little bit though. Because, yeah, as you can see, it's a bit ugly there. So pause. We should be able to do this just as a simple curve. You'd think. No. The problem here is that these tunnels are quite deep. So it's tricky to get things to connect up. As you can see when I'm doing that. But that appears to work. So what we should now be able to do is basically grab the lines. Are we not updating? Is it not connected? Finding failed. Okay. So there's something wrong here. Let's pause and just see if we can redraw this connection here. I suspect if there's a troublesome connection, it's going to be that one. Perhaps that wasn't the problem then. Oh, actually, I think I just saw those weren't connected. Were they? Yeah, you can see, look, they're different heights. We can't even go down low enough to connect up there, so we might need to redo this whole thing. What about now? That looks like it's connected. And our lines have reconnected as well. Cool. All right, and we've now got both of our lines stopping via the university, which is cool. Obviously, we don't have any customers waiting just yet. Obviously, we don't have any passengers waiting just yet, but I'm sure they're not going to be too far away. Now, looking at our info view, we can see our university capacity is looking brilliant. College, not so much, but I think we can increase the capacity of this college. That is an outbuilding, so we're not going to fit it anywhere, but that is okay. We've got a college over here, I believe, and it looks like we've already actually put that outbuilding on there. But yeah, it looks like we're looking pretty decent, I would say. We're left with this university here being a bit of a orphan, I guess. This would be the main university now, and that would be sort of an old CBD building that's still there, but potentially isn't used as much. Might be only used for like a very certain subset of courses, something like that. But yeah, we're going to get a new district in here. It's going to be the university district sort of thing. It's going to be University of Azure Delta, of course. And it might even be worth as well extending our light rail to run to the university as well. Maybe. I'm thinking, because I guess everyone... Yeah, actually no, I think we'll do that, but we'll have probably just a sort of a stop, maybe connecting it with Green Street. It's not going to run into the university at all, I don't think. Obviously, the roundabout's not going to do any good if we do that. Can we have tram tracks by themselves? We can. Okay. So if we, I don't know, do something like that and just have them terminating here. Does that make sense? I think it's okay. I reckon it's a decent choice. But you just never know with me, do you? And then we'll extend the tracks. Like so. I reckon that's all right. Don't know why we've... I was going to say, I don't know why we've got that happening. But I do. And we need to fix that. We want to maintain our 2 lanes, I think. So we'll need to get rid of the divided road. And that should fix that, I would think. Yeah, cool. So if we do this, will our trams be able to... Yeah, they will be able to turn around. Okay, cool. So then just thinking about this, we'll probably actually remove the stop at the station, won't we? But I suppose there isn't really a stop at the station at all, is there? So what we'll do instead then... we'll pull this off and have it run there. And that sort of simplifies things a little bit. It allows us to pull out a lot of the tram infrastructure that was making things a little bit awkward. And what's this complaint here? It's because we've got a stop there, I think, yeah. Okay. So that sort of simplifies this a little bit, doesn't it? I don't know why you're on the wrong side of the tracks, though. You're turning around. Okay, for whatever reason. God, we're not having this stuff happening again, are we? No, it looks like it should work fine. I don't know if it was just a... Potentially we might need to move this guy back a little bit. Probably move this one as well. Be cool if we could get a better tram station in here, because this is like a terminus, so you'd expect probably like an actual place to sit or something like that, but we don't have any upgrade options, and that's the only tram stop option we have as well, so we just got to sort of deal with it, really. But I think overall, I think we've made the right choice extending our tram network to the university. I'm noticing a lot of people driving through here in like vans and things like that. Why? I think what we might need to do is ban heavy traffic, I reckon. We will just need to make sure we don't have our district on the actual road. On the main road there. So if we ban heavy traffic, that should stop the university being used as a sort of a cut through. Also, get speed bumps in. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Wow, look at that. Our underground subway station at the university, we've already got almost, well, there we go, 200 passengers waiting. So it was a good decision to get this metro station in, and hopefully that means that people are going to be catching the train, catching the tram, catching the metro to get to university. But yeah, that's going to be about all we've got time for in this episode. I think we've got quite a lot of work out today, and hopefully it's going to help the city develop even better and even faster. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. If you want to help out at home, you can do so by jumping onto patreon.com/BobDendry, joining as a member of the YouTube channel, or you can also just leave a super thanks on this video if you want to give a one-off thanks for the content. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is City Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.